What's going on YouTube? A-Train here with ALK Studios bringing out another video. So I'm going to be starting a series that I've been thinking about for a while. So this is going to be a how to use off-camera flash series. So I have been using off-camera flash for about 2 years now. I stumbled upon a photo on Instagram of a guy that used off-camera flash, and I just thought the photo looked so cool. It just looked different from typical photography. And that day is when I started using off-camera flash. I went out and brought one and I haven't looked back. So in today's video specifically, I'm going to talk about what you need to get started with off-camera flash. So this is just going to be a basic video covering triggers, lights, and how to change your settings. Just everything you need to get started. So first things first, I feel like every photographer should know how to use off-camera flash. It's like having another tool in your tool bag, and that makes you more versatile, you know, and it brings value to you as a photographer because you know how to shoot in different lighting situations, you know, and I feel like that's something that every photographer should know. This is something that's going to benefit you in the long run, and especially it depends on what you shoot. If you shoot events, you know, situations where it's low light weddings, you need to know how to use off-camera flash. So stop running from it and just embrace it. Just embrace the flash. All right, so let's get into the good stuff. So the first thing you're gonna need is a trigger. I have two triggers right here. I have the X Pro S and the X1 TS. These are for Sony. I forgot to mention I'm shooting with Sony. All of my equipment is also Godox. I'm gonna put links in the description for all this equipment, so just go down to the description, you'll be able to find all this stuff. What the trigger does is it's gonna communicate with your flash. So when you press the shutter on your camera, the trigger is gonna send a signal to the light and it's gonna fire your light, right? So if you don't have a trigger, then you're not gonna be able to communicate with your light to shoot off-camera flash. With your trigger, you're just gonna put it on the hot shoe mount on top of your camera. Just go like that, tighten it on. Bam, now you have your trigger set up to use on your camera. All right, y'all, so just want to show y'all and talk a little bit more about these triggers. So this is the X1 TS. So the S stands for Sony. So if you have a different brand of camera, it'll have the, you know, whatever that name starts with. So this is what I used when I first started. I don't really like it that much because as you can see, the screen is real small. I don't have batteries, so I can't show y'all, but it's hard to navigate through this one because the screen is so small and you have to scroll with this wheel to go through the different channels, and it's just not as good as the other trigger I'm going to show y'all. So this is my favorite trigger right here. This is the X Pro S, and I'll show you. I love how big the screen is. It's easy to navigate. So I'll kind of just touch the screen a little bit. So right here you can see the different channels. So you could have lights set up with all these channels, and that's how you're going to be able to control your lights. So right now I have it on channel A, and I have it on M for manual, which is you could change it. Let me show y'all. So if I go to A, you see TTL. Like I said, I'm going to touch this in a later video, so subscribe for that video. So I shoot everything on manual so I could control everything, and if you spin the wheel, you'll be able to change the power. So the lower you go, the more powerful the light is going to be, but it's going to recycle slower. So that's something to keep in mind, that if you need to be shooting fast, then you don't want to shoot at a very, you know, this much power, because it's going to take forever to recycle to get that next shot and use your flash. So, and also you see this little light sign right here. So this is going to let you test your flash. So I always do this just to make sure my trigger is communicating to my light. So once you get your light set up, you can press this. You can see it controlling this light to the right that I have on, and that's going to show you that it is communicating effectively. So you're good to go as far as your lights in the setup. Okay, so as you can see right now, my lights, this is the 8200, are set up on the same channel. You see where it has A on the light and it has A on my trigger. And if I click this, you can see that it changes with the trigger. So that lets you know that it's connected and everything is good. And like I said, you can test it. You see my flash firing by me pressing that sign I told y'all about. And yeah, I just want to show y'all that real quick. And you could change the channel right here. So see, I could go to B right here, change the mode to manual. As you can see, it's changing with it, and you can see it's controlling it. Pretty simple, like I said. All right, so the next thing you're gonna need is you're gonna need lights. So you're probably wondering, what kind of light should I get? So right here, I have the Godox. This is the Godox TT685S. Like I said, I shoot with Sony. and this is the Godox 8200. I freaking love this light. This light right here is pretty much just a step up from the speed light, so it has more power. So if you're just getting started out in flash photography, most people just go with the speed light. It depends on what kind of photography you do. If you're gonna need more power, then you could just go with the 8200, and it just depends. Or you could get a couple speed lights to kind of match the power of an 8200. So, you know, just so you have more lights available if you need more power. When it comes to your flash, you wanna make sure that it can shoot in high speed sync. So what high speed sync is it's pretty much gonna let you shoot above your camera's max sync speed, which is, I think for Sony it's 200 or 250. I know it's different, but it should be around that range. It's gonna let you shoot at higher shutter speeds, like 1/4000th of a second, 1/8000th. I'll put pictures on the screen so y'all can see. This is gonna allow you to control the ambient light. So if you're shooting in harsh daylight or just super bright conditions, you're gonna be able to bring down that light, and it's just gonna make for beautiful photos. And just being able to have more control over the look of how your photos come out. I love shooting high speed sync. We shoot a lot like midday and just harsh light. So high speed sync definitely is something that we use all the time. It's something that you need if you're gonna be shooting in those kind of lighting conditions. Okay, so other than those things, you're probably just gonna need I think it's called an S bracket. I'm gonna put it on the screen. So you're gonna need one of those, and you're also gonna need a tripod to set up your off-camera flash wherever you need to. So that's pretty much it. In this video, like I said, I'm just covering the basics of what you need and just how to get started. So like I said, in future videos, I'm gonna be going more in depth on your camera settings, where to set up your lights, which is, I know something a lot of people have questions about. Is something that was the one of my main concerns when I first started shooting off-camera flashes. I didn't know where to set up the lights. So make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel. I'll see y'all in my next video. Peace.